Welcome to One.
Hey, I'm Rudi Goblen, studying playwriting here at Yale School of Drama. I graduate in 2022.
Hi, my name is Christopher Betts. I am in the School of Drama studying directing, and I'm in the class of 2021.
And I'm Madeline Pages. I'm a dramaturg at the School of Drama in the class of 2022. Little Boy, Little Man was one of the last live performances I saw before physical distancing began. And it's a piece that you both worked on together. Rudi, you as the playwright, and Christopher, you as the director. It's a really exciting piece with a clear artistic voice. And I'm looking forward to discussing your collaboration on it. So let's look at a clip.
They ate in shelters, got hand-me-downs, and got free family dinners from churches on holidays. Who cares about that? Not him. And you shouldn't either. What you should care about, though, is not giving a fuck. Like him. Yeah. Like he got combat boots on or some shit. Like he got a black American Express in his back pocket. Like his father's best friends with the dean of the school that he wants to get into. Oh, and he graduated with 150 G's in his savings. Like that. I ain't got shit to worry about. That kind of I don't give a fuck. Why they call tres?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Oh, come on.
I'm serious.
Come on, man. You never told me.
He was born March 3rd, 1983.
And?
That's the third day, the third month, and the third year of the 80s.
Okay.
And he was born at 3:33 a.m. in room 3333 on the third floor of the hospital.
Get the fuck out of here.
And he's also a single child. His family's just him, his father, and his mother. So that makes him the third family member. I told you.
You serious?
Crazy, right?
Hell yeah, that's some mystical shit right there. Shit, God's funny, man. You'd think he'd be the luckiest person in the world. Instead, he's scrubbing toilets for a living. Fuck that.
You did it too.
To jump right in, I am wondering how you found each other and what the collaborative process on the piece was like. Also, in general, what do you each look for individually when you're looking for collaborators and for a playwright-director collaboration in particular?
I was really glad when he asked me to do his show. I think he had seen 2 shows that I had already done, so he was familiar with my work, and then we just sort of hit it off from there.
That was already like, I clocked it in and I was like, oh, this is a cool person that I've met so far, because I had literally been in New Haven for about like a week or so. And then I saw Proud to Present at Yale Cabaret, which was the first show that I had seen at Yale. And I instantly thought, like, if anyone is willing to like take on that piece, it just says a lot about that person. And so and then that was another thing that I clocked in, and I was like, okay, this is something that this is the kind of work that he's willing to like play with and willing to take on. And so I clocked that, and then I think we quickly bonded over like a peanut Bausch picture or piece, and I was like, and so I wanted to do Little Boy, Little Man at Yale Cabaret. It was just a dream of mine that I wanted to do and make happen. And so he was the first one that came up. And I guess to answer that last question, I always look for, I've been very lucky in my career to work with great directors. To me, a director is a guide as opposed to a dictator. And also someone who's willing to collaborate. I think often we think of just the collaborators as like the people that we're working with, as opposed to like the person that we're co-laboring with. And like that, like the word collaborator just means co-labor. Like we are both, or all of us, or 4 or 5 or whoever it is, we are all working diligently and I guess equally towards what we want to happen. And so that's someone that that's someone that I love to work with. And I've been lucky in my career to work with those kind of people. And just from like the conversations that Christopher and I had, I felt that it was going to be that kind of relationship.
Did the play change as you worked on it with Christopher?
Yeah, it changed. another reason why I knew I was in good hands, or we were all in good hands, was because Christopher and I met up. I wanted to ask him if he would direct the piece. So I sent him the play. We met for a dinner and we were talking about it. And one of the first things he said was, "What do you see? I want to show you what you see." And I told him, "Well, I see these two things. I see a world where there's nothing on stage and it's just a circle and it's just these two, these two men, these two brothers on stage. The musicians live somewhere on the side. And then I see this world where it's like really real." And then he suggested, which I thought made all the sense in the world, that if we're going to do it in a space like Yale Cabaret, that we had to do it the other way, because Yale Cabaret is not an empty space. It already has a lot of stuff in it. So we had to put stuff in it to like bring people into that world. I'm somewhat of a minimalist, and I like the actors to work, and I like the audience to work together, to imagine together and make things happen together, as opposed to just like giving people things. But one thing that I also appreciated was that Christopher was very selective, and again diligent about like what it was that we were bringing into the space to make the piece. To bring the piece to life,
Jumping back to what you mentioned about being a minimalist, Christopher, do you consider yourself a minimalist as well? Or if not, how did your aesthetic sort of fit with Rudi's?
I wouldn't say that I'm a minimalist. I would say that I'm very resourceful. So I'm a very visual person. So I like having all the stuff. I want the lights, and I want the props, and I want the stuff. I mean, because that's what theater was so much like candy for me in that way. But I always learned the benefit of having practical resources, and that you can make extreme beauty out of something very small, and that you can make spectacle out of minimalism. So I guess to some degree, yes, because I learned everything I know about theater from my grandmother, who did these public school performances on the South Side of Chicago for 40 years with literally construction paper, and she would have all the parents like sew together costumes, and they were amazing. So like through the repurposing of props to create spectacle, through the shared collaboration where things get reinvented over the course of a show, I would say that my aesthetic is more so to build a world, and then everything that's in that world contributes to the flow of the story, and that spectacle becomes a part of the event. But it always comes from a pining of the text, and like figuring out, well, what's at the core, what's at the source of this, and figuring out what that visual world wants to be, and making sure that everything that comes from that world is an illumination of what the playwright's intent is, which is why I asked Rudi, I said, "What do you see?" Because I feel that my job is to show the playwright what they wrote and then take it further. So I have to know what they want to see or what they imagined when they were writing it, so that I can say yes and in the rehearsal process.
What was new or different for each of you about this collaborative process as compared to other collaborations you've been involved with, or just other projects you've worked on?
I would say it was really new for me in the sense that I really feel like Rudi and I hit the perfect balance of collaboration, where we really made a thing together. So I would listen to what Rudi was saying, and I would throw something up and let him respond to it. And then, there would be times I've never had healthier disagreements in my life.
Yeah, I'm very careful about who I collaborate with, and something just told me that Christopher was someone that I wanted to work with. So it was new in that sense. It was also new for me because I write my own work and I perform in my own work, and I wasn't performing in this work. And so I had to watch somebody do my work for the first time.